Hey, this is Jack with ReciPal. I just wanted to show how the inventory system works when you have one recipe that you package in a few different ways. So first we're looking at the recipe side, and I started by making my main recipe here, and then I'm just using marinara sauce as an example. I have all my ingredients, and I make this big batch, and that's how I create this. And then I have three different ways that I sell this. I have a 40 ounce, a 24 ounce, and a 12 ounce. So if I go into any of these, the 40 ounce is just using that main recipe, which I turned into a sub recipe. It's using 40 ounces of it. It makes one package that's 40 ounces and has 10 servings. And so I've made my main recipe, which is how I make it in the big batch, and then I made my other recipes, which is how I serve it, and this main recipe is a sub recipe. So now if I go to the inventory side and I do a production run, well, first let's look at our raw materials. So if I go in here and I look at for my marinara sauce, I see that this sub recipe comes up for my marinara sauce, which is with its recipe number. And right now I haven't produced any of it, so it's at 0 ounces, right? And so I'm gonna make some of this sauce. I go to my production run. I already have one open here where I've selected the marinara sauce. I'm making one batch of it. I'm gonna be using all these ingredients. This is supposed to make a huge batch, so we'll put it in. We'll say this took 3 hours, Jack, and then I'm going to close this production run. When I close this production run and I go back to my raw materials and I look at my marinara sauce, now I see that we have over 3,000 ounces of this marinara sauce. So depending on how you store it, could be anyway, but you have a lot of sauce to work with. And if now you want to package it up and make some 40-ounce bottles of marinara sauce, what I would do to do that is I would go to a production run, create a new one. We want to package the 40-ounce bottles of this. So I select that. What do I need to make this 40-ounce bottle? I just need that marinara sauce that I've already created. All right, so we're going to make this, and we're going to make, let's say we're making 100 of these bottles. So, I don't have enough for that. Let's say we're making 50 of these bottles. So it's going to need 2,000 ounces, and it's supposed to yield 50 packages. Perfect. Let's say it took another 2 hours. Worked on this again. When I close the production run, now in my finished goods, if I'm looking at my marinara sauce, I see that I have 50 packages of 40-ounce marinara sauce with the recipe number. If I go back to my raw materials and I look at my marinara sauce, the quantity that I have has gone down. Now if we're going to make some 24-ounce bottles, I could do the same thing. I could do a production run. I could select my 24-ounce bottle. I could decide, hey, I want to make 20 of these 24-ounce bottles. Okay, so that's going to use 480 ounces of that big batch that I made. Cool, this is going to make the 20 packages. Takes me an hour. I worked on this. Close production run. Again, when we go to our finished goods, we look at our marinara sauce. Now I have 50 packages of the 40-ounce marinara sauce, 20 packages of the 24-ounce marinara sauce, and again, we'll see that the marinara sauce that I have on hand is has been lowered because I've now taken that big batch and packaged it in a different way.